Hey, Brian.
How's it going?
Good. Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's Thursday, right?
Huh?
There's a big party. Yeah.
I know they're having a little bit, well, they're not late yet, but.
Nobody's here
Oh, no. Really need something for your birthday?
yet. We'll do that a lot. Unfortunately, accident mom.
Hell yeah.
Go before accident.
It was what?
That was before accident.
Uh,
And violation for new offenses or.
hello, how are you, Susan?
The agenda.
Doing fine, how are you? Yes, but you're.
Stage for that.
Please do, stay hydrated.
Hey, Mr. Hamilton.
Jordan, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
You bet. Where else could you start Thursday?
He loves us. Hang out to the end, I'll give you next one.
Yeah.
It's Brian's birthday today.
Oh.
Right, happy birthday, Brian. Thank you.
You should, it's warm. Hi, how are you, Betsy? How's everything going?
Well, it's improving.
That's good.
Yeah.
We like to hear improving.
Nancy, get up from that door, see what the wrong thing.
Well, that's for you. So, yeah.
Occasionally, you should celebrate. Don't you usually sit on the end or you worry about?
I usually sit, at the, if we're here, so, depending on if there's somebody else to sit. You say wherever you want.
Get enough of these meetings, Jay?
Oh, I'm here for, I'm on.
Oh, you're on the agenda.
No, otherwise I'd be at home having a glass of whiskey.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
So hot day.
It's been a long day. Well, it's been a long day.
Is your neighbor around? Is Pam around?
Yeah, she's back.
Is he?
Yeah, I've seen her like 2 or 3 times over the last maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Her car is in the backyard, so I think she's still there, and I hear her dog talk about, so. And I
I
said,
haven't seen her for an age.
I've seen her like, I think once or twice, just, say hello. Yeah, she came back like probably over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. She back in the summer? Who knows?
Who knows?
We went riding up Saxon earlier, waiting for a mountain lion.
Oh.
I'm not going back up that road outside one ever again.
So cool, don't kill the mountain lions because of their horns. And then you get more aggressive.
I'll let you know right now.
I'm gonna sit back and drive my car, that's.
Sure.
That's outside.
I won't kill unless I have to, but I will shoot.
Respectfully.
This one was not aggressive, but it was hiding behind it, like we saw, we were going up the road and it literally.
John made it
We
home.
saw the butt end of it and it hid behind the tree on the side of the road and stopped. And I'm yelling at Bryce, I'm like, back up. And he's frozen because he's freaking out. And I'm like, back up, back up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Bryson, back up. And he's just, I'm not even looking at the mountain lion anymore. I'm turning around, I'm looking at him, and I'm shifting him in reverse. And I had to squeeze his handlebar to get him to go. And I guess he caught eyes. Well, he's like, I saw the face.
I know it's all that.
I'm just saying.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He made it home.
Oh, right, you're Iris's daughter, is that correct?
We were pretty far up there though, so.
My sister said it's not something I was pleased about her job.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was the first one I'd seen. Sure. I've seen wings and
I did.
Hey.
wings, bobcats and never mountain there. It's not, and face to face.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
it was from me to you, Bob.
don't wanna mess with them, they're,
Yeah.
well, maybe not in middle with the wolves, so they're top runner.
Well, I wouldn't even too worried about wolves.
And then turn
I
around.
don't think they would, you know, unless you think they're.
Trying to park there.
But the mountain lions, you know, he, I guess he wasn't really that interested today, cause he
He
didn't
gets put up.
stick around.
Yeah.
But we go up Saxon once or twice a week on our four-wheelers, and that's the first time I've seen one, but I'm not going up that road anymore without my sidearm.
Yeah.
Not happening. Next time I go up, I will always have my sidearm.
Right.
It definitely freaked me out a little bit.
I mean, they've been down in town here.
I've never, I haven't seen them in town, but it's also weird because the bear that we've had in the second ward,
Making it bigger.
I haven't seen him around either. I'm wondering if they're relocated.
He was around
He's here.
early.
He was around early and he hasn't
But
been
I haven't
back.
seen him back yet.
I wonder if somebody killed him or if they relocated him.
Have you?
Well, typically,
My car, and
You don't see them too much during the warmer weather, they go elsewhere, yes.
All last summer, he was around.
Well, that's true, last summer, but it was cool, we got a long, cool spell leading into
But
last.
it's weird because
Yes,
he
very much.
came down early,
Endeavor.
Yeah, he was early.
this year and he was still huge.
Yeah, well, he was the biggest one I've ever seen.
And then he just disappeared. And it was still cool outside. Even still when it was snowing, he was gone. So yeah, I don't wanna say I miss it because I don't wanna get into my trash anymore, but I got some pretty awesome videos of the security.
Well, I've got to measure the one. I think so, I think it's huge.
Little lift alley. Beginner,
43 inch, 43 inches high. and
doing all that,
18 inches wide.
putting in power.
Oh,
And
no.
bus
That's
passer.
the only one for this side that's got, you know, glass here and glass here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to name it.
Sure, that's.
Wow.
John.
Over there.
The trans thing.
Right by the other.
No.
That's where he got the name.
No, I'm just gonna-
Sit down.
No, it won't. There's no, gearbox. The chair won't. Yeah, that's, it'll trip you.
One of,
I'm not sure how it would do that yet, but.
and then Mark tries to do this, okay, we
Right.
gonna do color.
I knew you placed it.
And we said they have to. And I sort of went, well, that's.
Yeah.
What's that make sense?
Sorry about that.
But I mean, talking to, see what it would cost. Okay. So you say the whole place out.
Talk to them, hey,
Now, that's all like it for.
nice. Yeah, where did you get this from?
I don't mean.
Oh,
No.
Yeah, if I make it possible.
Get it set up for your incandescent. The ones that we have now are. Very big.
Yeah, at some
Point, I wanna ask, you know.
If you wanna buy one.
But I.
Let her answer.
Hi.
Are they?
Yeah, we don't come here for a board meeting. We have a field day.
Thank you.
I wanna see if I can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yes, really,
Yeah, like,
I want to know what I find out.
because it was part of. My grand, he was passing on, and they were doing this, we had.
Other little fans.
And he asked,
He's very handsome. He's not very.
I'm sure.
You gotta be one.
Oh, good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
You toss it.
Doing good. Already said it.
Unless it's not.
We think she was probably too, wasn't it?
I don't think there's anything that I.
What do you know about
They
these
was
people?
arrested.
They've not told me anything, so,
And.
I brought an extra one up for Keith.
So I'm gonna ask them.
Keith showed up last week and he's not here now.
That's right.
Please.
Oh, yeah.
He showed up in person, like, my
Yes.
mistake.
Keith always thinks.
Or you should.
Oh, he did.
No, but it's good.
It's my average.
Great. I got it from Mary Leonard.
Brent.
No.
Thank you
Now.
very much for the
Oh, she's probably be there.
Thank you. I love this
Brown, surrounded by.
Here.
As you know.
Uh-huh.
So I
So-
died and came to heaven.
That full year. Or will you?
I think so.
So I'm pushing that out to see whether we can get an audience. Also, it has no legal access. It's not a trouble for this, you know.
Oh, okay, so it's kind, it's landlocked.
It's landlocked. I don't think they know, there's so many parking lots of public space.
Yes.
Okay, so they would have to even get an easement.
She would care less.
Yes, so I don't think they know that, and I'm sure the realtor is not
He
telling.
didn't shake.
Realtors don't not to say, but it's.
I know, it's over, right, it's all been done.
Does anybody know anything about a Joan or a Mark?
I just heard the door open.
I know there's a sign up.
Nursing is so.
Well, that's why. Well, Tony and I want the three.
I know.
So.
Goodbye.
People are already. It's not a Joan. That's all it is.
Yeah, oh, no, I'm like, yeah, it's two different times. My house is constructed to everything else.
I've heard.
There's,
My 70 had machines.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
This, yeah, yeah.
Joan?
Yeah. It's then like a real part of the issue. Why really?
Sean Black, here, Cindy Mealy, here, Betsy Blake, here, Pete Crossing, Mark Reynolds, Bob Hamilton,
Here.
Frank Cantor.
Here.
No.
Thank you, for the agenda, please.
If you could add 915 middle,
We have it.
yeah, it's in the packet, they submitted everything on time. I just hadn't printed it because it was submitted to me via email, and I forgot to put it on the agenda, it's my fault.
Okay, so is that poster if it wasn't posted on the agenda? Where is it in the?
In the packet, it's after. I put it before Jody and after. After Pitt,
Okay. And we have stuff about it in this packet?
yeah,
Yeah, but if it wasn't posted. All right, go ahead, Marcy.
And we do a pretty together with the deeds.
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Just anybody here for audience business? Not on the agenda?
I'm here for audience business.
Oh.
We missed you. Okay. Come on up.
All right.
This is for 915 Main Street.
Yes.
Ryan, Nick Grunda, as you all know. I got tired of not seeing you on Thursday, so I decided to come back. Since it was approved, I've been going through the 3D modeling and everything on the inside of my house, or the house. And there's a few little corners and spaces in there that are tight to the headroom, and I raised it, or would like to raise it 12 more inches. 18 would be better, but I know we all have size and mass issues. So 12 inches would make it a lot better. It's only 2.5 pieces of siding. And on this picture, you can see the delineation of the second floor from the front porch. It just makes it a little bit more. And then this is a little bit taller.
Frank, if you want to do an amendment,
I just wanted to test the waters before I made any official amendment. Because it is approved and I need to send it off to structural, so
so it makes the overall like about 12 inches.
exactly 12 inches taller. I just,
That puts another foot on the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so the overall height of the house is another 12 inches. And then if
What's the
What's,
total?
yeah, what's the total?
27.3 9/16.
That's the peak.
That's to the peak, so mid gable, I believe it was 20. I forget.
Are
what
we,
the
which
original
house are
was.
we?
This is the.
This is the second.
Sorry.
This is the one that we approved, I think, last meeting.
Yeah, I thought we were.
We did.
No, I thought we were lower than 20.
That's the overall height. The mid gable height of the house that we approved is 20 feet 1 inch or something.
Yeah, it's 20. Yeah.
I would put the overall height on this one. I didn't do the mid gable height. I will do the mid gable height. I just wanted to test the waters and see how we were feeling about adding 12 inches. Well, it's kind of a little bit higher on the hill. It's kind of crested on Main Street going down towards 10th Street.
But
So
overall,
not
it's lower, isn't it? House is lower.
They're gonna be. Oh, are you talking about foundation, overall foundation height? They should be, you
27.
know, a little bit, they should be a little close, but it's gonna be taller because it's on the
That's
crest
also
of
the
the hill.
higher ground.
Because I thought we were stepping it down towards, in height. That's the one we were doing now.
But nine,
Is it
Right.
possible to do a rendering of the two side by side at their actual elevation, since you've got a model?
In other words, we would really like to see it and this
Okay.
is audience business and this is about as far as we can go.
that's all right, I just like, I was just wanting to make a quick trip.
Since you haven't both modeled, that should be
Yeah.
easy to set up,
I
so you
can-
know what elevation.
I'll have to
they're at.
combine those two together, but I think I can figure it out. Okay,
And then,
So you can do it in your software, you can do it in PDF.
I'll figure it out. I'll get it done for next time. All right, thank you.
okay, thanks.
Everybody have a great day.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I thought we were stepping down.
It's shorter than that's right. We want to see this.
That'll take me.
Because that's, I mean, it's a smaller house.
It'll take me.
Right, it's business now, it's not. Okay.
This is 15.
Okay, Mary Albertoni, 1203 Main Street. You don't look like Mary, come on up.
My name is Ken Crosby. I'm with Mill Creek Builders.
And, the rest, 1203 Main Street, and would you like to tell us a little bit about what you do?
She just wants to replace a bathroom window. It's not centered in the bathroom. And so, the easiest solution for that was just put in a slightly smaller window. We're not gonna increase the opening size or the window. It's gonna be 6 inches less in width. Matching siding, matching everything else, just a new window. The quality of the window is a metal exterior. We chose a double hung. The windows in there right now are casement windows.
And this is a double hung?
We'd like to put a double hung in.
Now,
And all of the outside, the window trim stays the same.
It'll all be put back to match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially just. You're just pulling out the window itself and.
Yes.
But you have to close the opening so.
Yes, I'll replace the siding, match the siding exactly,
So everything.
to make it look original when we're done.
Okay, I have page 93. And. The window and door openings corresponds with the overall direction and emphasis. This house isn't terribly vertical, but all the windows are, so it does match that. The window is, what did you say our material was? It's,
This is a metal exterior window, so that's the top of the line windows by most manufacturers these days, where the outside is metal clad. For resistance from weather and things like that.
okay, and if it is metal, it should have a non-reflective finish, it will be painted.
Yes, it's a, wood interior window. And, the window in particular, I don't know if anyone has seen 926 Rose Street, the windows we chose over there. It's basically the same as those, but their windows are white, so we want to put a white one in.
Yeah. Yeah, so B would also apply. And page 93, 3. A and B, and I would make a motion to approve the application.
Also,
As presented.
Any more discussion, finance comment? All in favor? Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, thanks, Cameron.
I believe I'm next as well.
You don't need anything else from us.
I'm sorry,
You don't need anything else from us.
not on that.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah. John and Sam Jackson.
Yes,
Oh, you're interested.
so previously we got an approval for a similar apron next door at 926, because we're remodeling 926. And John and Jackie would just like to spruce up their driveway at the same time. The part that goes across the driveway has been damaged. It's actually there, but it's damaged considerably. And so parts of it are missing. So we'd like to do the same thing as we're doing next door and help improve those sidewalks for everybody along there, make it easier for people to get through. We're aware of the color and all that kind of stuff.
Right, and did you use the aggregate in the other one?
We will. We haven't got to it
Yeah.
yet. We'll be getting to it next month.
Because I'm curious to, we
yeah,
had said 1/8 to 3/8, we found the 3/8 shows up a little better.
Okay, we'll make sure we use the 3/8.
yeah.
And this would be a wonderful trial
Yeah,
for us,
I don't know, I'm the guinea
You
pig.
also want to give a few more additional flagstone to,
Actually, theirs is just concrete from the bridge to the end of their property, so the other flagstone is already in our plan, for the part we're doing.
when you get a Bobcat, I've got a fork with, or otherwise you just modify that. Get a hold of me and, we'll go bring some stuff down.
I appreciate
And
that.
they're,
I
they're
will.
done with the school.
Looks so good.
We're done with the school, so
Okay,
we've got some there, we've got some up at the Centennial Mill as well.
I need to measure my square foot.
Yeah,
I
And I'll
will
work
get
with
with
you on
you.
that, and,
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
and I'll keep an eye on, make sure you get it cut right too, so don't
Yeah.
plant any big trees anywhere close.
No. I didn't have to talk very hard to take that big bush out of the yard at 926, so it'll certainly be a nice place when we get done.
Okay. So
let me say, book 2, page 56. I didn't put anything.
he is an elephant.
Here's an elephant.
Okay. Well, is the condition of the existing improvements I have with public health or safety? Did you say that?
Now, where am I? Book 3, page 56.
Yeah, page 56, item E.
Item E,
Exposed ag, item E1, exposed aggregate concrete. And that's what you're planning to use, so we're good.
Okay.
why can't I find it?
Page
So the next
56.
page.
Page, you have the leaves.
You know, I-
I have my.
I think.
Is that-
It has to be a first. You'll get used to these glasses.
That's all.
Mirror. So much better.
She's still racing.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, okay, it goes with section 6 though, not I was busy trying to find the section 7.
Yeah.
And I had a second side on page 53. Um.
Is that B?
B2.
Yeah. And then we say.
I have B4 also.
Before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they going to be approved for the same?
You need a second? I'll second. All in favor? I, no discussion or audience comment. All in favor? Aye. 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 Okay. Aye.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks.
I hope you have a wonderful evening and I'll get out of your way.
Okay, figure that out. You can do what you need to know, it's right. All right. Okay, Iris White Market, 10:35. Biddle. And go ahead and state your name and your address.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to speak up because I am profoundly deaf. And even with hearing aids in this room,
Yeah.
the echo is such that I can't hear.
Yes, okay. Your name and.
Iris White Larkin, 1035 Biddle Street, Georgetown, Colorado.
And.
Yeah.
What's that?
Maybe Iris can tell us a little bit about what she was doing.
Okay.
Can you tell us what you'd like to do?
Yes, I want to put a fence behind my house. If any of you are ever out in town, you all know my dogs. I have one Irish Doodle and one Golden Doodle. They are both escape artists. They can open the doors in my kitchen. They get out with a gate and then the door, and they still get out of my house. They've run a dozen times in town. We do absolutely everything we can to keep them corralled, but it is an impossibility. I want to put a 6-foot fence behind my house so that they have room to run, and maybe they will quit running all over town. Because I get all kind of awful texts and notes about what an awful dog owner I am. And we have done everything that we can do. I even have cinder blocks in front of one of the things that I have wood behind it, and cinder blocks so they don't get out. They can jump a 4-foot picket fence.
Sure.
We had them in Jody's yard one day while Shauna was doing a little work on her fence for her, and they just ran and jumped the fence and they went. So that's why I need a 6-foot fence, and 6-foot fences don't really come in pickets. So the fence that I have selected is the same fence that is down behind the knit and pearl. in her backyard. It's the only side of the fence that you will see is going up 11th Street. And it's gonna be 25 feet off the end of my property line into my yard. And there are trees that buffer it.
No trees will be removed.
No trees will be removed.
Okay, that was-
I had 2 dead trees that I had taken out.
Yeah.
One was Marge's tree. That's Marge's fence is down and her tree was technically on the property line and it was dead, so I had it taken out, given her condition and I had an aspen that got some kind of root rot that fell over and I had taken out, but all the rest of the trees will remain the same.
And along Biddle Street, the fence is not on your property line, it's in from your property.
On Biddle Street, there's about 30 feet between Biddle Street and the front of my house. On the side of that, it goes back another 15 feet, and that fence will only be 4 feet high because it's above a wall down below that goes into the yard. So if this is where the yard is on Biddle Street, then there's a wall, retaining wall here, and then the rest of the yard is down here.
you're on the
here,
retaining wall.
yeah, on top of the retaining wall, I'm just putting a 4-foot fence in the event that they can jump that high.
And what you're proposing is a vinyl fence with a lattice top.
Yes,
Okay,
because I'm 70 years old, I do not have the wherewithal or the ability to go out and stain a fence that with Colorado winters needs stained every 3 to 4 years.
Bob, do you have that at the macro? So it's
Yeah.
like mine?
Yeah, it's like yours behind
And
yours.
it holds up well.
Mine's 20 years old and it's doing great.
This is ours is probably about 10 maybe.
Yeah.
well, the county had, on the county parking lot there, that's white vinyl fence too. As long, so there, there is good sturdy vinyl and then there is vinyl.
This is, given what it's costing me, I should be good sturdy vinyl. I bought it at Home Depot.
Right.
Yeah.
It's next to her.
It goes over like that, but the pole that goes in the ground is, what do you call that? Pressure treated wood.
Yeah,
And then the sleeves.
it has a sleeve over it.
Yeah, and it works well.
And it's planted in cement.
Right, and none of this is in front of our yard.
Nothing is in the front of the house, no.
I mean, it all qualifies for 6 foot, even the 4 foot piece
So-
could be
When nobody can get close to it, probably.
6.
But it is 6 from the downside of.
Well, that's true from the bottom.
From the, because it's sitting on a wall. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that keeps it with an even look. I'm not sure you want something that all of a sudden hops up. and-
No, I don't, no, I think it'll blend the best.
Yeah.
Going over on that wall and then down.
I would agree with that.
And it's got a matching gate, so.
Yeah, there's 2 gates, one on either side of the yard.
Gosh, it's gonna be exciting when she gets to do this. Well,
Oh, no, they're still gonna get
Oh,
Yes.
If there's a way, we have realized that if we keep the blonde one, the golden doodle in, the Irish doodle only runs around for about half an hour, then she comes back in the house. The golden doodle leads them up the mountain and they've been gone at times for 4 days. And it makes me sick because, not only because I've got $5,000 invested in these 2 dogs, but because they're all family.
Now, are you saying that you don't think this fence will keep them?
Oh, I think this fence will keep them in. Jody's fence,
how to get out.
Jody's fence was a 4-foot picket fence and they jumped that, so that's why I went to the 6-foot fence.
Yeah.
But I don't think they can jump that.
I can just say. Okay, she's ready to take bets, I can tell.
Yeah. She just thinks they're bad dogs.
How do your two dogs feel about this?
I like this better than my approved solution right now, which is putting them on 40-foot leads and.
And they like playing in the yard on the leads. You know, they
That's
don't,
good. I have more freedom about the leagues.
yeah, and they don't run out in the road. But I want something that I can let them in. I'm supposed to go on a trip. And my dog sitter said, you have to have the fence built by the time you go on your trip.
Okay,
This is book two of them.
this is a book two, because of the. Yeah, it is, because we're not at 11. And I have page 52. Yeah. Which is the second page for section 3 fences, walls and gates. And I'm looking at. C, except you can do some stuff out of B, I think.
What page are you on?
52.
Thank you.
Because it says that solid fence may be considered in for the backyards and, it says about a solid wood plank fence. This isn't wood plank, but it is a solid fence. And the top of it is transparent in character such as a lattice, which is.
Yeah, the lattice is about this much on the
Yes,
top.
yeah.
Yeah, that helps with the wind too.
Yeah, that's E3. And I had done C 4 and 5. Yeah, although a side yard fence is less transparent, it should incorporate transparent elements, and it does. And then it consider using lattice at the upper portion, and you are.
Yeah.
So it is C 4 and 5. The B7 for the B7. The gate, yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a gate?
Yes.
I have 2 gates.
And they will be made out of the same material?
They're all made by, everything's made by the same manufacturer.
Okay.
Do you want to put in the stipulations that we're okay with it being a vinyl fence?
You know, in building materials, I don't have my book with me, they usually have considered newer materials as.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's,
it just says vinyl is discouraged in the front yard.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, because,
it's okay.
because that came up off of a white picket.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah. So. Okay.
Anything else? Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the fence, design for
1035.
35.
1035 bill, as submitted.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any more discussion or audience comments? All in favor? Aye. Against?
Thank you.
Well, good luck.
I see them too. You can't catch them. They come by mine, you can't catch them.
No, go wrong.
They got out again today. I saw them last week.
That's you, 1580 Main Street.
Yep.
All right. They're coming through with hogs. Yes. Hogs.
My name is Pip Baylor. I live at 1580 Main Street.
I'm sorry, the seating there for you. And tell us what you want to do.
I want to build a fence around the front yard, 4 foot high, keep the dog in. I'd rather go 6 feet, keep the bear out, but, or the lion's out, but I know that's not a possibility. So I'm settling for 4 feet.
And when you say welded wire,
Yeah, what is that?
This is welded wire. This is part of the fence. Yep, it's exactly like the fence that goes around the wooden frame of the dog park. I've seen this in probably 10 other locations around town for fencing. Yep,
What are the posts?
this is the post. They're wooden 4x4 treated posts in the corners to support the corners. But this is simply slides over a T-post that pounds into the ground and then goes up and holds the fence up. The photos that I sent that are in the packet are from the exact same fence that I had in Silver Plume for a decade. No, the fence was only a decade old. It's totally transparent. It,
And what's the top piece then?
there is no top. That's just the black line that I drew at the height, because that's a 6-foot high fence in the photos from Silver Plume.
So this is straight up and down slats,
Right,
Not right,
it's just this,
it's just that.
just the wire.
yeah. There's no,
It's the wire on metal post.
Do you have
No
a cap on
top.
the post?
a cap on the post, no,
And this is to ostensibly keep dogs.
keep my dog in the
Dogs
yard,
in. Dogs in.
right?
How big are your dogs?
My dog is, Corgi American at the moment, she's 30 pounds.
You won't get over for this fence.
Oh, yeah.
So you will?
When the wind blows and drifts in the snow in the front yard down there, I spent all winter there, and that's gonna be a problem. But I'm planning to keep her in the backyard that's already there.
You just have to, go shovel a moat next to the
Yeah.
fence. I had to do that.
Right,
But.
So the metal post, you have a sample of an old one, will the new ones be shiny?
no, they're basically the same
Whatever.
EMT conduit is what this is.
Okay, so it's not gonna stay shiny if it starts out.
No,
Okay.
Are there other fences like this in town? Yeah, in the front yards.
In the front yards?
Yeah, there's one over, we did it not too long ago. It was kind of along the side
And
and,
it's on right now.
yeah. Oh, well, that one too, right on the corner of Argentine and 7th.
Oh, but that's got wood planks.
That's a wood fence, well, and they put the wire on the outside, and it should have gone on the inside.
Okay, that's a.
But that's a wood fence,
Yeah.
that's a split, a whole
But
split
it's
rail
a
of wood fence, that's not, and they put the wire on it. Because the top could come through the rails, I mean, they put
Right.
the wire on the inside, I mean, I think that
It's gonna look like a chain link fence,
Right,
pretty much, except without the top.
which is kind of weird, isn't it?
for.
Well, I wonder if
It's not gonna hold up, right?
oh, it holds up fine.
It'll hold up, yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's not.
It's not that, it's a front fence in a very visible place.
Right.
And in a, a really visible place, there's a couple of roads coming together, I mean, that's what I was just seeing as you turn in. As you turn onto Main Street from 15th Street. That's one of the first houses you're actually facing it,
But it doesn't face you, it faces the road.
yes.
So I've got two pictures here that you kind of have the projected fence, this one with a little white skinny line,
Right,
is that like,
that's the height of the fence.
okay, so this one with the dark line would be that where.
That's where, that was just the footprint of what I was trying to, where it goes.
So
Cause it's way off the road
Yeah.
and behind the whole rock pile.
I don't think the wire is really that visible, I mean, once it's ace and everything.
The post, what's the bad part?
Poster, bad.
It's gonna make it look more like a chain.
Could they all be wood posts instead of metal?
I could put 4-inch by 3/4 inch cedar fence planks, both, or, well, just the fence pieces, I could screw those to the outside of the fence to cover this up.
So it's more like a blade did, at least.
Right.
Because you're doing your gate, is a wood gate.
Right,
And so if we could get a pattern of the sense that this is, it's a wood,
I think that would look good.
I think that would make it work.
okay,
Just trying to avoid the chain link appearance.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it won't be as
no,
pronounced as the chain link because the
I,
hog wire is
It won't be.
finer
Yeah,
and there's bigger holes.
So I think he has wood posts, put a cap on it or something, maybe, at
right,
least it looked like.
Well, you may want to put a cap on the post just to keep water from
Yeah.
going down in it and rusting it out also.
yeah, and that,
And they make caps for that stuff.
right,
so it's just dogs, not hogs.
no, not hogs,
Okay, just check.
right.
You want that right at the top ground.
So if the dog jumps up on the wire, which is really thin, right?
Right,
You
What
say,
keeps the top of it?
Yeah, what's,
it doesn't, it supports itself completely.
Yeah, if something stands on top of it, it collapses.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna
No, I
stand.
had a bear try and pull the fence down in Silver Plume, and he couldn't,
So you have a cool time.
yeah.
Okay, so there's tension in one.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
he bent the fence, but he couldn't get it, tear it down.
You said you got corgis, is that?
Right,
Corky's fine.
Corgi, she's a mix, yeah.
oh, let's see the wire again for that. What then ends up on top, a
This-
flat line?
Right, just the
That-
top,
Just the top, so there is a complement, you're not spearing something on.
right, you're not gonna see it,
This is gonna run, no, you run, yeah, so you're gonna see wood posts, okay, it's not what looks like wood posts, not.
not hooked, right,
Not those. And then when it comes to the gate, we have the gate in here, someplace I saw the gate.
There's picture of the dog with the gate behind her.
I saw that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Very broad.
Yeah, the gate's.
Oh, yeah.
Was the fence up in phone 6 feet?
What's that?
Was the fence up in phone 6 feet?
Yes,
Looks like it.
Yeah, but it was out back.
no, it was on the
Yeah,
front,
being 4 foot high, it'll
the side,
it
was on the
scales it down too.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that we should know that the posts will either be wood or wood clad.
Yeah, it's stipulation.
That's a stipulation.
Yep.
To essentially match the wood of the gate.
right?
All the consideration wire that we usually see in chain link.
It's the chain link fence wire, I guess.
I call it chain.
Yeah, and it kind of interlocked, and you tension, this is actually probably stronger than most stiff because it's welded.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Right, and I think that we should note for our record that this is hog wire. It's like a livestock fence. It's a livestock, it's a livestock fence, okay. So that it is sort of that it is a livestock fence, because we have distinct rules about chain link fences.
Right, and it's not chain link at all,
Very distinct.
it's not like Vivian Buckley's at all.
It's not as visible.
No,
I mean,
definitely.
chain link is truly visible.
All you're
really gonna see is the post.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're gonna wonder what's in between. What's this man doing with all these posts?
Yeah.
Just the dogs will be running back and forth, so.
Road bites.
So we're ready for some sightings?
Yes.
Yeah,
We're in book 2.
We're in book, no, we're in book 3. We are, we're in book 3, and what did I do my sheet, because I.
Okay, chapter 11. Section B.
Okay, book 3, page 81.
Whoa.
A, it says the fence should be simple in character, and this is certainly simple and straightforward in character.
Yes, it is.
A fence should be transparent, allowing A1, transparent, allowing views into the site. A2 should not exceed 4 feet in height. Not A3, it can be higher than 4 feet, but not in the front yard. A4, the gate material should be appropriate to the fence, yes, it will be the same. B what?
I think, pro materials of wood, iron, wire, which is what this is wire.
That's right. Yeah, just B. And the next one says that chain link is inappropriate. But wire is appropriate.
So I think we're good. And I would move that we approve the application with the stipulation that the. Work out.
The post, the wood flag.
The wood flag post.
Okay, I'll second that. Any more discussion or audience comments? All in favor? Aye. Against?
Thank you.
Aye, thanks for coming in.
You know,
No,
that's it.
I'd like to diverge for 1 minute. I'm the guy that's working down at Scotts Park, and I'm the one responsible for cutting down your dad's tree. But we, as sure you've heard, we are going to put a replacement tree in there. And I would like to get a brass plaque made.
Okay,
If you look at we mounted a brass plaque on a stone for the,
for Steve and Ostrud and for Kate.
yeah, for the Christmas tree that's there. Right, something like that. If you could give me the wording for that, I will get that made and we'll get the tree is, we're hoping to have a bristlecone pine,
Okay,
because it will last
longer than
longer than all of the guys
Right.
together. It should last for maybe 200 years.
yeah,
And it's slow growing, and it's gonna go right, pretty much in the corner where the cottonwood was.
okay,
So, and then we'll get that plaque mounted on a boulder in that same area, so that people can
sweet.
recognize.
Thank you very much.
And,
It's for.
My mom and dad were instrumental with Steve and Ostrud Gusterman in starting the Christmas market. And, mom. 95, maybe 96, they took out the old cottonwood that was there. Mom came here and said, what are we doing to fix that? And they said, nothing. And so she took the money out of her pocket, paid for a new tree, so you guys put it in, and let's put a plaque up for Wally. And so mom came to me and said, why don't we do this? And I said, why don't we wait a little bit and make sure the tree lives before we get a plaque for it? And then she passed away in 2000, and so I thought, let's get a plaque for both of them.
Yes, I was gonna say, this is not just Wally.
Right.
yeah, so we go ahead and compose what you would like to see on the plaque.
Great.
And get it to me, and then we'll get that made up, and,
Do you have a card?
no.
It's easy to find.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually down the park.
Yeah.
Sweet,
It's getting really old, 3-year project.
yeah,
So, yes,
it's looking very good.
but if you're, yeah, I can send you.
Okay.
And I see it here every other Thursday night, I think.
So what year would that have been that they,
1960. That's when they started the Christmas market.
is that when it started, 60?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and his mom was the publicist for this town for years.
Right,
And had very close relationships with the Denver Post and the Rocky Mountain News. So we have all kinds of things from the sixties that, in the archives that are the result of Odie. And, Odie was probably the first person I met in this town.
Well, that's it.
Cindy is in charge of making some storyboards that are gonna go in that walkway.
Oh,
About Christmas market.
One on Christmas market, there will be one on what existed in that space before the fire took out all the buildings in 1970. And there will be one that features Sam Strauss, because the park is in his name.
Okay,
So we have 3 storyboards, but there'll be one on Christmas market, and actually a lot of the stuff that I'm using for that is out of your mom's files,
great,
because they still are hanging around.
Yep.
It's great.
that's good.
We're gonna get. No, she, my first year of teaching, and he was in the class, and,
Yeah.
it was Halloween. And I really didn't know anybody much in town, and this woman came flying in a witch costume.
I love that.
She just, she had a broom, she had everything, the whole witch costume, and I had 42 kids. 42 first graders, and she flies in the door, and she flies back by me and said, "Oh, no, Billy, don't worry." And she just kept going. Oh, no.
Yeah, they knew.
And she made the day, I was so grateful. 42 first graders, what happened?
I know.
Now we got like 3.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah, what happened was Henderson was just started, really
Right.
started out. And, huge, this school was totally unprepared for
That influx.
that influx that happened in 66 and 67 and 68. That's why we opened the Empire Schools.
Right.
For 15 years in there, but no, the influx was just, so I won't tell any more war stories.
That's okay. It's okay.
And I still have their Halloween hat, because you get.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Is that your?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I'm just.
We leave that door open.
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
I was like,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
okay, of course, I'm melting.
I know. Are we doing, we're doing Jody's, yes?
We have 9:15 middle street.
Well, that's Jody's singing.
Okay.
Craig's online, it's just not so.
Well, it's comfortable, Jody's.
Okay. Let's do that.
1075 million.
So it's 8:11. Okay, what else?
I'm Janice Martin, better known as Jody. I live at 1075 Main Street in Georgetown.
What's happening?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Gonna replace the back decks,
and you're gonna make them slightly wider.
slightly wider, 2 feet 6 inches. It will enable me to get into my garage much easier
Without hitting the posts for the deck.
without hitting the posts and scratching my car to death.
Yeah, I looked at this and I looked at the picture and I thought, I get this. I understand you asked me to go through all of this, but suggesting mark those decks, you're gonna take away the stairway,
Yes, no stairs.
because. Never mind the question I was about to ask because it's none of our business. I had sightings on this one for book 2. Page 72. It was hard to find a sighting to allow enlarging the deck 2 feet. Page 72. Gee. No, that's the wrong one.
So you're removing the stairs?
You're putting these stairs.
No stairs.
Oh,
Those stairs?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's just a deck.
Yeah, please, go ahead, just wait.
We were going to in the beginning, but
And Steve, show it stairs. If you look at the back there next,
yeah,
with an engineer's drawing, fire stand.
we decided not to.
You can just put a slide.
We can do that. Kind of like, yeah, that'd be fun.
Too.
I drew an X for the original plans, but it's not super clear, so. Wait, actually.
Oh, sorry. These are the newer updated, engineer drawings without the stairs on.
I need to talk to that too.
Okay, good. So I just found it last night. Or yesterday on.
You're not really changing the look at all.
No, it's gonna be the same pickets, you know, and
Same material, you can use, is it all gonna be wood or Trex decking or?
tracks, yeah.
Trex?
It's gonna be whatever it is. Yes. I mean, you're not gonna-
Pardon?
It's gonna be wood with Trex deck.
You're rebuilding the two both decks, or you just expanding it?
Excuse me?
Are you rebuilding you're rebuilding them?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the whole thing.
and making it a little bigger across.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it will, the biggest thing is it's gonna be enabling me to get into the garage.
yeah.
Much easier. It's just those, I don't know how why they built them so close, because maybe they didn't have a back fence at that time. It's really difficult to get in. It takes me, I got it down pat, but it takes me two things.
Turn, and then you back out, and then you get yourself straight so that you can get into your own garage.
There's a few notches on that.
They have a 7-point turn.
Yeah, right, you know, I'm just not going fast enough.
And in the snow,
Oh. Anyway.
no, so all I could find was page 72G, decks and balconies, maybe appropriate, because there's nothing that talks about, and, yeah, well, also, it says a porch should be to scale. The deck is to scale for the house. I mean, we're not making something that's out of scale.
Are you on page 71?
I'm on page 72 in book 2. Under porches, awnings, decks, and patios, G. And with that, I would, G.
Yeah, it talks about, G. Composite deck material is appropriate.
Yes.
Yeah. H and H1, the rare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I would move that we set the application for 1075 Main Street as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What's that?
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Appreciate some, please, Cindy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And no hot. No, okay, there's one. Yeah. Okay.
I think they're contract. There, thank you.
Oh.
I think the rest.
Big corner design, though, I think. That's a bad idea anymore.
Okay, 9:15 Biddle. And Craig is on.
I am on. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Yeah, came in, I guess, at the last DRC meeting with this kind of as a information item. So now it's back as a formal application for part of it is a 6-foot privacy fence along the west and along the south, and then along a portion of the west property line at 915 Biddle, and then about 30 feet to the north of the southwest property corner, it'll step back down to a 4-foot fence. And it's really just meant to kind of shield the views from the back patio area at 915 to the house below on Main Street.
So Craig, this is the house that's for sale, yeah?
Yes.
That's correct.
All right, so I'm at the right house.
Yes.
So you look at this, and you look here.
Okay, what did you think when we are?
We like the fence. When you look at it like this, it's not got visibility, but it's like a blind. So if you're looking at the Venetian blind there, except, so the slab walls. Yeah, and the main reason for the 6-foot fence on that one section behind the house is because when you're sitting on the patio, you're looking into the neighbor's bedroom, literally.
Yeah, literally,
So,
so I'm not having sat,
Yeah.
stood in the neighbor's yard, I think this is an essential fence.
Yeah, so it's a nice looking fence and yes, does the privacy very well. So, yeah. She was good.
Neighbor back there is good.
Mhm.
Okay. Findings, huh?
Mhm.
I have something.
So we go through
Yeah.
chapter 6.
Because you're in book 2. And so you're back to fences and approved. Yeah.
B,
B2. B3. How tall is this fence?
A portion of it is 6 feet and a portion of it is 4 feet. So
Okay,
it steps down about halfway across the back of the property, Cindy, so that it doesn't jump up at you from Main Street when you look between Beth's and Cindy's house there.
Gotcha.
B4 one.
What, B4?
B4.
This isn't game. We're not gonna say that it needs to
Okay.
be,
Okay.
given where it is, it doesn't really need to be.
I'm just going through, Kate always makes recommended sightings, and so I'm just going to see for your benefit, you know, how you obviously saw that too. Okay.
I would say C for side yard fence. Yes. C3, side yard fence being taller than the front. Yeah. And 4, because this does have, I mean, the blind fence is a some of the transparent.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting fence.
Yeah, so there's visibility of wind, ability.
Yeah, so that's also the for appropriate fence materials, yes. It's really interesting fence there.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. Do they open and close?
I know.
Patent pending.
Oh, it's basically.
Anything else? Do I hear a motion? Oh my God, I'm so stoned, like, what you got in me? Okay, Betsy, maybe.
I move we approve, the application for like 15 Middle Street.
Okay, Betsy did the first, you did the second. All in favor? Aye. Against? All right, thanks.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for your service to the town. Have a good night.
Okay, Georgetown Community Schools, 504 Street. Yes.
Mel is not here, but they presented to you last meeting and they're basically done with the project. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it, but the sidewalk looks really nice, although I wish it extended a little further, but it's not the same, so.
Yeah.
They haven't painted the road yet.
So we had approved this and they have not made any changes. They just had expired their COA, so they came in for us to renew it.
So this, there are going to be more signs. Are there gonna be more signs?
No,
No?
But they're gonna paint this.
They're gonna paint the
Yeah, the crosswalk.
Yeah.
Trying to be cheap.
The crosswalk will be there. Not,
Without, on the, yeah, and what color?
they say green.
It's green.
like a really bright green.
Right, green.
I don't think we've actually found that color yet, though. But it'll be a bright and chartreuse.
There, yeah, that's what I think you're talking about. Something there.
So I just want to yellow. Yeah.
Okay.
And then are there any blinking lights or signs or anything?
No.
There's an existing sign there. I don't remember if it blinks or not. I actually asked that question. I talked to Tom Harvey today.
Yeah.
And I asked him if they were putting a blinking light up, and he said there is one there already.
Yeah.
But it's existing.
It's during like.
It's only blink after school, yeah, when there's kids.
Keisha, do you want me to put all this original packing stuff with my decision forms, or is this just a copy?
It's just a copy.
Okay. I'll make sure I don't throw away.
Oh, I mean, I have my own packet info. I just keep your
Okay.
decision forms
Okay.
and the COA.
Okay, so we're just basically renewing their COA for the project. Would better since it's.
Just out of curiosity, do you know when they're gonna be painting?
No, I don't know the exact date. They're working on it right now, so.
I know Brian's been going around painting. Things on the street.
Yeah, Scooter's doing some work on the bike path too, so.
Someone
see how that
decorated.
works.
Right.
That was my whole update on that.
Some decorated, painted something on a couple I noticed coming down Tower Street. I think it was Tower Street, maybe the Road Street. On the way here tonight, someone painted something on a couple of telephone poles.
Mitch has been taking signage off of the old poles and putting them on the new ones. So like,
This looks like somebody with a spray paint.
well, we have had taggers hit by a number of places too. So that's something where
Hackers?
taggers, like spray paint, graffiti.
I think it says WEC or something like that,
Tagger is somebody who
graffiti artists.
graffiti artist.
At the least they don't have to wear this, which is brilliant on stuff or something.
Yeah, or
They put their tag name.
they put their tag in. I mean, it's not their own initiative.
Or they put something lewd, that's pretty common.
It's all.
It's almost done, somebody knows that they want it done.
So can I have a motion?
Any city and all that kind of tagging on.
Or Europe, the entire continent is covered with it.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion? For the renewal of the COA?
You're being very official.
I know.
Yes, I would move that the Georgetown Communities COA for the roadway safety work and sidewalk be renewed.
Thank you. Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Good job, Jen. Keep us on track.
Yeah, that's right.
All right,
Staff
so
update.
we are at.
Staff report.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on top, I mean.
I just
handed it. Okay, so I have seen Vince out there working on it, slow but steady. I asked him if I could look inside, and he's gonna try and get a key from his mom, so if any of you are interested. When he,
Would you see if the printing press is still in the small?
He said it is.
that's the main thing I'm interested in, yeah, for sure.
He said when he was doing it, it's in there.
And I did get secondhand feedback from, actually from my wife, who was talking with Vince. And he's having a rough time, because he can't, he's got knee and hip and all kinds of issues, he can't go up a ladder. So he's really struggling. So that's why, I'm sure that's why that ladder has been sitting out there, so I don't know. If we can find some help for him or something, I think that would be a good neighborhood thing. I don't put lights, maybe it's so I don't get stocky phone.
Oh, yeah.
There's the painter, I believe, who's working for Ruth, is that right? Is gonna help him later this month, is what he told us.
That's good.
So that at least is happening, but I don't know what kind of, because I know that Vince wanted to do.
He needs to get the wood repaired, some of the wood repaired before it gets.
Yeah, and, Larry got to paint the little Joe, the second.
I don't know what Larry exactly promised him, he just said he was gonna help him out.
Because it's not only, we need a facade on, the small part of the building. This off to the left there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because that one needs a coat of paint,
Mm-hmm,
and that would take Larry a day.
right. I don't have Larry's contact info, but if someone has it and wants to give it to me, I can reach out to him.
Sean has it. Sean has it in his pocket.
So I've seen some guys walking around town apparently looking for work. Do you think if they were looking for
Yes, we.
Well, I don't know if Vince is paying Larry to do that,
Oh,
so.
okay.
Yes,
I might know somebody.
but Larry's phone number is a good thing for you to have, and Sean,
No, I have Larry's phone.
I think we all.
Okay, I'll get it from one of you. Let me write it down.
I don't know if the town could use it, but. People will try issues. That's true, I think use it, because, yes, yeah. But Vince could use.
Yeah.
Larry doesn't have insurance. So what was the question?
But he's probably painted 3/4 of the house.
Yeah.
That's true. That's why it's cheap.
So yeah, Vince called me today just to assure me that he's been working on it, but I have seen him out there as well, so. I guess we're just keeping an eye on Koski House until that's finished, but they've been making progress on it, so.
They are working, yeah.
Yes, and I spoke with Kevin, I think, stonemason, who's working over there. He's also got a project that you'll see either the next meeting or the meeting after that. Anyway, he's a stonemason. He was talking to me about the granite wall, and they're gonna be doing.
The guy, so he's getting ready to start.
He's doing something over there, and we were talking about a different project, but I asked him. Okay, do you want me to give you his contact info?
I did.
Okay. His name's Kevin, right? Am I crazy? Maybe it's not. Okay, well, anyway. We'll see him soon. He's doing a project.
There's something about putting a driveway entrance. And
Yeah,
did
talk
he
about that.
talk to the board?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, because I didn't,
The-
wasn't here, so I didn't know that that conversation had taken place.
The upshot was that if a driveway, which I think is a good idea because of street parking only there, would be put on the south side there, but none of those stones will leave the property. They'll be used on the property. So none of that.
Yeah, this driveway should come in on the south side. but
Yeah.
Actually, then permits Cosby to let go of that piece of property.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did talk about that. All right, next.
Pulley House, is there anything else you want me to follow up on that with? I sent a note.
And saying thank you, because essentially they did what we asked them to do. I'm going to, be meeting with, Mark, and I'm really going to ask. I think what they have told their contractor is until they can decide for the purpose of the place, they don't want to go towards any more restoration of the place, because there's nothing else that's raised, really falling apart.
Yeah.
But I think that, we would love to see them get a purpose.
Yeah.
For that place. What's interesting is that now that they put that chimney on the top, I've been sitting in Betsy's front porch, and you can see it from her front porch. You just see this little white chimney, and you can see it coming down the highway.
I saw it.
Very, very cool. So yeah, I hope that we can encourage, but that's outside the realm of this commission, but I hope to encourage them to figure out that they have probably one of the most unique guest houses you could possibly have. So. Maybe. Excel update is that we seem to be in a grand pause. Which simply means some shoe is gonna fall that we don't expect. But yeah, we do, we went to Excel went to the State Historic Preservation Office with a plan for the first memorandum of agreement, to do some work on updating structures and stuff for the power plant. And we have requested that they add a hazardous material check to that, but it was what we had requested putting in that. We thought we had a good deal going. The state came back and with all of their requirements for the whole larger at decommissioning, which really got into a very confusing conversation. Then the state said, yeah, they would write up the things in the MOA. We've had absolute silence since then. The real problem that came up is that the National Park Service said that our dates of contributing structures, as far as the landmark district went, were absolute. They cut off at 1893. Now, in 2014, when we did our whole combine all of the surveys together, the Park Service and the state recognized that that's an inappropriate end date. Because even the Silver Plum School was built in 1894. I mean, so was Sunrise Peak Tram, the Argentine Central Railroad. I mean, mining did not die the day that the Silver Act was repealed. As a matter of fact, it burst this town into fresh construction of mills and things because they were going to keep silver alive until the price came back. I mean, that's a typical miners' reaction. It took till about 1907 for that to wear off. And so we had in our contributing buildings, if you look at their forms, they either are in the period of up to 93 or they're eligible for an extended period up to 90, and the state accepted all of those as therefore eligible buildings. So, but they can't, what they're telling us now is that they can't be really considered buildings of the landmark district. This is government at its typical, because the man who set the dates to begin with gave it a begin date of 1859, which is perfectly good, and then on the form, and he wrote circa 1893 for the end date. Because he was doing this in 1976, he knew surveys hadn't been completed. There was a landmark event in that 1893. And so I tried the argument that circa does not mean absolute.
No, it's around.
Yes, it was 10 years. And they said, yes, but that was too fuzzy when they were dealing with large projects with the Department of Defense. I thought, but we want the Department of Defense, so that they had to say whatever dates were on these were absolute. And we, in 2014, determined we did not want to take our date question back to the National Park Service. Because we have the largest historic landmark district, I think, in the entire country. We have boundaries that are way out there. Landmarks typically are individual sites. Then you have some historic landmark districts, you have Central City Blackhawk. But even you have the center of Central City and the center of Blackhawk. Nobody else got the mountainsides. And we got our mountainsides, and the last thing we wanted to do is rethink that. Yeah, we do not want to rethink that at all. But this all comes up with the Excel thing, it changes the legal perspective. But that gets it, you don't even want to hear about all that. Our contributing structures that we have a list of, the state honors as contributing structures, because if they aren't in the landmark district period, they are nationally written. They are able to become a part of a national registered district, and they are eligible. So they consider them protected. That might be better, they have mentioned to me, if we applied to be also a national registered district. Because the same agency does not run the register who runs the landmark districts. This is a trap. So you don't want to hear any more about this, except that when you hear that, oh, well, that's not a landmark building. Technically, it's not.
Is that building on the register?
No,
But it's eligible.
it's eligible for the register in our 93 to 1907 period, and we have forms on it for the last 30 years to back that up. And so they're saying yes, but can they apply section? Because the difference is that if they can apply section 110 instead of section 106, they can tell somebody that they absolutely can't take something down. If it's just an eligible and not the person, they can make them do a lot of mitigation, but they can't say that you can't take it back. What's interesting is because they're impacting a whole bunch of things, that gives the nothing for trail more clout than the building. Because it's on an old wagon road and it fits into the landmark period, and then it's an eligible resource for the landmark period. Anyway, so what I'm saying is that and then they've told the town, Excel has told the town that bypass that they were gonna build this year is probably put off for another year. So I think we're gonna be in this dance for 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
That's my report.
Thank you for taking that, please.
I'm done.
Thank you. Well done. Thanks.
1036 Rose, I contacted the owner, Lindsay Valdez. And she said she would take care of it. She's supposed to pop in to talk to me, but we haven't made that happen yet. But I think she has started, there's been some trash removed and she's talking to Buckley about making the changes. So we'll see when she comes in to talk to me, what she has to say. But I don't think she was even aware of it before.
Yeah. Follow that one out.
Bighorn Crossing developments, I don't think there's anything really relevant to you guys, but they don't have their building permit just yet because there's some town things that we're holding them to. And once they get that, then they'll be breaking grounds in July, that's what I've been told, so just so you know about that. If they do the thing that I asked them to do, so that I can give them a permit, so. Okay. Revitalizing Main Street grants. Bob's been working tirelessly on Strauss Park, so I would not be surprised. Yeah.
When's it due?
September?
that one's rolling, so I think the next one is September.
Okay, you might put that note in the thing, so that we don't forget it, and, yeah, you can let it roll, so it's longer.
Yeah.
I took some pictures.
Roll
I've also talked to Rick about the concept of finding out how much flagstone we have floating around, including, I want to talk to, Historic Georgetown.
Yeah, because it's fun.
And I have some, I don't have all that, unless there's some, I mean, I'm thinking of what's up at the Centennial Mill. It's not all there, it's a good part of that came from Strauss Park.
Okay.
So I feel free to, that belongs to the town, but I would like to make a deal with them that we will clean up the mess up there. And then all the flagstone that we can gather from everywhere, let's put it into a program and get sidewalks that are in really bad shape fixed.
That's a great idea.
We could offer the owners of the property, we have flagstone, we will help you, we'll bring it to you, let you have it. You provide, some support in terms of labor or.
Yeah.
Setting materials and stuff like that.
And that's, the town provided the flagstone that's in front of, a number of houses on Rose Street. Because the town had done work on the street and flagstone had gotten damaged. But yes,
Allegedly.
what?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes.
I mean, there are a lot of kind of easy pickings on Rose Street, and there's some that, the stuff looks like it got bombed.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's little tiny pieces.
There's a few places that outright have nothing but dirt.
Yeah.
And then some that are really.
Yeah, it's really odd, so it needs to be kind of looked at, and if we have enough to do certain sections, like we're gonna do the one down by the park.
Mhm.
I'd like to do the one in front of the Red House, but that's another, that house is up for sale or is sold or in the process of being sold. But it would be nice to start there and come all the way up to the bridge.
Yes.
We have enough flagstone to do that, but
Yes.
Rick and I have talked about the concept of a town program to help improve areas where, particularly if it's hazardous.
Well, and particularly because our ordinance does say that the property owner is gonna take care of their sidewalk, and to then requires a flagstone. That's why we put in the some forms of concrete. However, where the flagstone historically existed, we would really like to put it back. And so I think it's appropriate for the town to help at that point.
Yeah, that's great.
So, yeah, but that's what the grant would be about too, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
that would be actually fix Road Street,
Yeah,
bring it back to the way it was.
Yes.
yeah.
Would it be appropriate to raise money from the people who live along that street
Yes, sure. You can
to match the grant?
Yeah, sure.
I'm good, sorry. Sat down on that.
Well, you're done.
Yeah, except that, you know, has stepping down the street, yes.
Yeah, there's a good sidewalk.
Yeah, because, you're gonna need some match money, and so there's a variety of games you can play on that.
Okay. This cut off a little bit, but, we talked about when Lindsay was here, designating local historical sites, and they do have a no match grant available for that. I think that application is in January. So I don't know what the next steps would be for us to do that, or if you have an
You
idea.
ask her if she has the application form.
I've clicked on it. I think it's there. I think there is one.
Okay, because the next step on that is really to indicate to her
Mhm.
that yes, we are interested in doing this, to essentially give her a notice of intent, even though they don't ask for one.
Yeah.
So that so we involve the grantor, from the very start. So let's start a notice of intent, and given this would be for historical sites that are not within our historical periods, does she have any advice? make the initial contact.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we'll take a look at what the grant requires you to do, and I will put a copy of that grant out for all of us to see what it is, because I think it's time.
What type of thing are you talking? Is this like a survey type thing?
Yes, but because we have any number of sites that even in our list that we've put NREs by, that come after 1907. But are worth making sure that the library is one of them. But there are others, and there's actually a couple of new modern structures down here.
Sure.
Yeah, well, those stuff are actually, even though
I mean, the park itself was created back in the sixties, I guess, so it would be eligible, right, for.
yeah, so yes, that's what we're looking for, is those things that have come after, because for us to say history stopped in 1907 is so ridiculous.
Okay, while I'm on that topic, we talked about having a tax credit expert come in to do a presentation. I haven't confirmed that date, but I believe it's gonna be the second meeting in July. So I had emailed her telling her that you were fine with seeing her, and then she hasn't emailed me back, so I'm gonna follow up.
Yeah, I think it'd be good if there's people in town that would be interested in doing it, to have them come in.
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah, there are some people. so-
Because then we don't have to explain it to them, I mean, we do anyway, but they can hear the gory details from her.
And on commercial, we can't do anything with it anyway, so we can only do residential.
Okay, yeah, and she said she'd be happy to reach out to individuals as well if they want to talk to her, so, you'll be seeing this next meeting, but if you're familiar with Leonard Dietz, he owns. It was his mother's house at 918 Main Street, I believe.
No,
Is it Biddle? Well,
No,
sorry,
Main
Leonard lives on Main, but,
Leonard lives on Biddle.
I'm sorry, Leonard
Leonard's
lives on.
house is next to Sandra Dallas's front house.
Taos, okay. Yeah, I think it spans actually between,
Yes, it goes all the way.
Yes. So he wants to build a house on that lot. And him and I are working on what the land use situation is there, because it's not simple. It's currently 4 or 5 lots that have been combined. And he wants to split it so that he can build a house and sell it off at some point. But there's some complicated stuff with the lots not being big enough, and one of his proposals is to split the carriage house from the house that it's attached to. So I just wanted to give you a heads up about that, because I think it's gonna be confusing next week. And I don't know what he's gonna propose in the end.
And that's a place where infill is gonna be tough. All of the historic houses around it. You know, you have Sandra Dallas, who's got a large house on a large piece of ground. All of the other houses are little houses on individual lots. And certainly his mother's house, and then there's the little one that Nancy Hill lives in right next door, and across the street, you have the best parade of the smaller houses that we have in town. So, you know, I think I hope he's planning to build a little house.
Is she looking at?
Well, it would be on River Street though.
Yes.
Yeah,
it would be
it
on-
would face Griffith, but it could dominate
Yeah.
Yeah.
very, very
It's-
easily, and Griffith is full of small houses right there, you know.
He's actually using one of Tom Peterson's architectural designs that Marv used, and I forget which house, but it is a copy of one of Marv's houses.
And that's far too big for that one.
Yeah. So,
I just think you ought to be forewarned that what we are gonna do is apply the 300-foot rule.
he's just coming in with a preliminary for you because we don't have that land use stuff sorted out. And he wants to see what you'll permit. I told him about the height rule. We've been talking a lot, so,
So
yeah.
is that carriage house, contributing or? Restored?
No, it's not, because the house has been modified to such a degree that it no longer
No, it's
represents
not.
the original.
The house itself isn't, because it was very modified, and then they,
Well, what about the carriage house?
I don't know. about
Carriage house is like a garage.
It's supposed to be-
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it's considered a separate structure in the
no, it's not.
listing, so.
Oh, okay.
It also has a garage attachment to it, so probably the same thing would apply where it's been modified to such a degree that.
But if we can figure out what the height is of houses that surround that, it would be very good to know.
Or I don't know which house it is, I'll figure that out.
Let's see, that was a carriage house. Let's say the Dallas's address, oh, well, let's see
It's
this.
the Catholic Church and then Sanders' house and then
And then.
Leonard's mother's house.
And then, but you're going to the left and back that actually says.
Yeah, and I recommended, and he is talking to the Presbyterian Church about maybe buying one of their lots that's adjacent to his lot. Because then he could actually combo those lots, they'd be big enough, so we could actually build something there, but
North.
they'd have to decide to sell it.
That's the big corner of the house.
Yeah. Yes, well, and that's three ready lots,
Yes.
is what that is. And that's, I've always thought that is gonna be the toughest infill of this town. Because Washington Hillside builds itself into a hill over here and is its own thing. And now you're talking about, I received a text from somebody who said, you know, we would be, are you interested in selling your undeveloped lot?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's
I
that
don't
white.
know what I'm talking, I've got,
Oh,
yeah,
that's that.
you wanna buy your property in Georgetown, just look at what you're talking.
No, well, how do you know I have an undeveloped lot? I do, but how do you know?
That info's on Clear Creek maps.
Yeah,
you can
find that easily.
Yeah,
Two properties.
That's a lot of information. Oh, sure it is, but.
Oh, it's actually on.
I don't know if they got your phone number.
Price.
Yeah.
$200,000.
Well, Cindy's phone number is probably not that hard to find.
If I get rid of my lot lines, will it make it more difficult for somebody to just eventually sell off that piece?
Yeah. They'd have to re-separate it, and they'd only be allowed to, I don't know what your vacant lot, like what the size is. Is it the one, is it next to your house currently, or
Like 10 or like.
where it is? Yeah, you could combo them.
The wide fence, the minute it leaves, seal it.
I would guess,
All the trees.
Well, this is
I mean,
maybe
it's
outside
trees,
this
but
meeting.
space. Just what you have to take out
Next to Catholic Church.
my.
There's actually sort of an empty lot.
Horticultural.
Well,
My tree.
people, they know, we're just keep. Yeah.
Is this the house?
What's going on over there?
They'll be, you know, he's starting to look up the houses that surround me.
See, for the height.
Okay.
Okay, library COA, I emailed Libby, I've stopped by the library twice and I have not heard from her, so.
Did you find the COA?
Yes, I did.
And.
It's from 2022, definitely expired. It's for a whole edition. I don't know about that, so.
Yes,
Um,
we had special meetings down there.
Yeah, but it has expired, and periodically I hear these rumors about, well, we've changed it, we're doing this, that, it doesn't matter, and have we sent them a note, a formal thing that you're at? You know, please be aware that your COA has expired.
I emailed her, I wouldn't call it an official notification, but also she can't get a building permit until she goes through here, so. They're not gonna be able to start anything without
Well,
talking to
she may
me.
feel she has a certificate.
Right.
But when she applies for a building permit, I will tell her that that's not true. But also I did tell her, I emailed her and let her know that it
Yeah,
was
because I think
expired.
we need to officially tell the people whose certificates have expired, that they have an expired certificate.
Yeah.
So don't show up looking for a building permit.
Right. No, I did email her and I've also popped in twice and she's just never there, so.
Yeah, she's at the archive at 1 day a week, so I don't know which day.
Maybe I keep popping in on the same day. But I'll keep working on that, but that's just what I've done so far. We're good with PIP now. The Muscovite structure, he's actually not allowed to build a secondary structure without a primary structure. So he will not be appearing in front of you to get a certificate of appropriateness, because he just can't have that building at all. He's not very happy with me about that,
That's not
so
even his property, is it?
it is his property,
Oh,
yeah,
When they want to build a shed on it, they can use property, but
yep. He wants to use it for storage. He's got some personal things going on, but Rick and I are talking to him about that, so, you do have a brochure, and
Yes.
Cindy showed me the brochure like the first month I was here, but there's two. And I think both of them are pretty old
But be
looking.
careful, because Betsy and I did the second. And it was never distributed.
Oh,
I think we have 3,500 copies of it, something.
Right, okay, so the one that I have might be the old one then,
the new one is the color one.
It's got color pictures. and color
Right.
and all of that, so you may have both of them.
Okay.
Yeah. We should, but what we wanted to do was to send them out to, you know, literally, the water list, the water and sewer list, because those are the owners of property. So you're gonna get the owner and not the tenants.
and then I also think when people buy properties here, because properties are being sold a little more often, they should be. That's a welcoming gift.
welcome to Georgetown, you can't do anything without our permission.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, that's, yeah, but they have to, and the water is the key to this.
Mhm.
Because you have to change your water and sewer billing. So the minute somebody changes their water and sewer billing, what we have to do is figure out how to get into that system. We should be sending out information to that folks about the town,
Mhm.
and not just the DRC, you know, we have a planning commission.
Right.
This town is zoned, please be aware. So you're not
I like that.
surprised by it.
Okay,
But how we work that, I'm not sure, but we do hear about all those land transfers.
right, Mary, I think, can help me with that,
I
yeah.
think we should.
Dwayne also wants me to make a brochure for people who would like to build a house in Georgetown. So, you know, the DRC will be part of that, if I get around to that soon, so. Okay. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the idea of a non-conforming clause, but the planning commission was brainstorming things, and Bruce Shank, if you're familiar with him, brought up the idea of a ordinance that would require that short-term rentals only be given a license if they are conforming with design review guidelines and land use code. They were excited about that idea. The Board of Selectmen was not excited about that idea, but directed me to put it in front of you to see what you thought about it. And I have not done any research on this really, because I was instructed not to. So,
Well, I think it definitely makes sense, because you're allowing someone a special privilege to have that license.
mhm.
And if they aren't conforming to all the rules, I don't think they should have them.
All right, on the other side of that, non-conforming to what?
So the two options are land use code, which I feel, and Rick feels, and the Board of Selectmen feel would definitely be impossible. There's a lot of houses that are non-conforming with setbacks, with lot coverage, with lot size, with.
They're existing non-conforming.
Yeah, if they're grandfathered in, and we haven't allowed any of the new ones, they've either got a zoning, you know.
Yeah, because that's,
Well, but if it's existing, like, what would we be asking them to change? Do you know what I mean? Like.
If someone was like the one down on the corner, by the hotel, or across from the Alpine
Oh,
Inn,
uh-huh,
that one on the corner.
1036?
Yeah, 1036, since they still have things that they haven't satisfied with us, and if they were wanting to get
Well, so the other option would be design review guidelines, which we do feel like is stuff people can fix.
Yeah, yeah.
But that'd be a separate from land use code, which
Yeah,
is,
but for instance,
Someone
my
is-
house sits on my property line.
right, so you don't
And
have to.
it's been there since 1874.
Exactly.
And so can I move it? I mean, would I have to move it because
5 feet.
Right.
it's existing, you know, should I have to
This is
move
why
it 5
we-
feet over?
Yeah.
In order to become a,
Right.
an anything?
So that's why we feel that wouldn't be.
Well,
a great thing.
I take the interpretation in this sense of conforming is a willing non-conformity. So if you're either grandfathered in or had gotten permission to do whatever is non-conforming in that sense. But if I just built a house and I never did the landscaping and didn't put the, you know, whatever was supposed to be finished on it according to our guidelines. And now I wanna get a license to rent it short term, no, because you didn't even finish what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
So it's a willing non-conformity.
Yeah, but I think that the legal definition of non-conforming becomes too broad.
We have,
But
we have
some level of the idea,
non-compliant.
To me, I think the whole. The point of view of what you brought up, those are things that the town should be following up on. That, you know, people have gotten licensed to do something, or permits to do something,
Mhm.
and they haven't completed yet.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't get another permit or license or permission
Right.
to do something else until they've lived up to what their obligations are. To me, that's not a non-conforming thing, that's a code compliance thing or something like that.
yeah.
On Main Street, would never stay in their driveway as an example.
Yeah,
That was a rental for a while.
yeah,
Mhm.
They never stay in their driveway, but they agreed to.
So,
So then
so
you
I
have-
think we're saying that existing just make it a non-conforming clause. You know, there's too much of existing non-conforming, but to make it a non-performing clause. Yeah, if there are other things that property owner simply has not done. That was essentially agreed upon with the city, no, they should not have this.
the word non-conforming, you know, just, you know, they're not in compliance with
Yeah, and what they've already
Well-
said,
the
they.
stuff that they've already
Yeah,
agreed.
it'd be a
What-
way to get the dark sky stuff, done too. Because they would have to do any of that.
What Bruce was imagining was certain, I don't know what he was imagining, like which house in particular he was thinking of, but. For example, if somebody built a fence a long time ago, but it's not part of our design review guidelines. So it's grandfathered in, we're not gonna do anything about it, it's pre-certificate of appropriateness, but we wouldn't allow them to get. Something until they change that to be conforming with the town guidelines.
Well,
I don't
in
think that,
order to be pre-certificate of appropriateness, it would have to have been built in the 60s.
Uh-huh.
So there's nothing.
So I'm not sure that, you know, because otherwise, yeah, if they had gone ahead and done something that they had not gotten appropriate approval for, then no, they shouldn't get any other approvals for anything. That's what you guys are essentially saying.
Right. Okay, I think we're talking about different things, so.
Well, okay, so. My neighbor has a house and I'm not talking about my neighbors, it's an example. They have a house and it's got a fence that somebody put up a couple of years ago that we didn't approve and it's not what we would have approved.
Mhm.
And they bought this house and they rent it short term,
Mhm.
that fence will have to be changed.
Yes, that would be the idea, so.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
And that idea works, but that is not very different than non-conforming.
Yeah, conforming and
So we've got a vocabulary problem that
Yeah, I think-
we should really discuss.
because people say non-conforming, that brings all kind of legal
Well,
complications.
everybody's house has something non-conforming on it, so.
What I'm asking is if you think it's worth me researching and pursuing this as a potential ordinance, which again, the board of selectmen is not in support of, but the planning commission is.
What we're saying is that we don't even really know what we're talking about. Is it worth pursuing?
Yeah.
Defining it a little better? Probably yes. Is it worth pursuing an ordinance at this point? No,
Right.
because we're totally unaware.
Yeah.
But to spend a little bit of time saying, okay, how do we really define what we're after here?
Yeah.
And to see whether there is anything to this? Yeah, but an ordinance is way down the road, because obviously, we're not asking for an ordinance on a non-conforming clause.
I think the idea of some kind of a set of rules and guidelines that would be applied when people apply for a rental permit is good. The other side of that, and I think we could spend some time kind of maybe what the criteria would be. But then the other side of it is, how do you administer and enforce it? I mean, we have trouble now with, town staff is small in this town, and we keep adding more and more layers of things that they need to get involved. How do you do that?
Because you have a property file. And you have a property file on every single property, so when I come in with my application. To be a short-term rental. Does anybody say, oh, that one, that's at such and such place, I can go to that file drawer and I can pull out the file there, and in that file. I'm going to find whether there are the certificates of appropriateness, the building permits, those kinds of things. And is there anything in that file? I mean, it's like doing
Well,
research.
then you have to take that file and you'd have to go out and do an expansion.
Yes, you
Yeah,
would.
because it's not.
That's what the time is.
Yes, I
I
understand
mean,
that.
that, and that's,
Time, but
Yeah.
if
And
we're
who
talking
does
about
the inspection? Any of us could.
well, I mean, that would be code enforcement,
yeah, that would be code enforcement, so.
which we
So
hire a code enforcement person. But
Which we
they
can
would
have
have,
now.
they would have
It's coming
to,
up.
they would have to be educated on what.
Right.
Cause I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure code enforcement is looking at, national code type stuff.
Yeah, he's not doing
They're not-
ERC stuff right
They're
now.
not looking at the same stuff that we are.
Yeah.
So you've been going out and doing inspections where properties are ready to be signed off on, to make sure that they have finished up, all of our requirements. And if they haven't, it's noted on that form, and that definitely should be in their file with a sticker that says not finished or not compliant with DRC, then that would be easy for somebody to check.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is our property files exist, and so if what we're talking about is checking the property file before we give out certain kinds of approvals, then yes, that's probably a good plan.
And we're only doing that though, we're only doing inspection.
I understand,
Major stuff.
but we might be saying, it's for a special use permit. Somebody needs to do a file check on that property to see if
And then-
everything's left undone, and I'm not sure that needs an ordinance. I mean, that's my question.
Mhm.
It is procedure that probably would make sense.
Who's gonna be doing that?
I'm not gonna worry about that. I mean.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
No, I'm not, it's not here is
Oh, yeah.
massive
Yeah.
misunderstanding about what we're trying to achieve.
Yes, well, I mean, it's not clear right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I was directed to not look into it, so.
So another step further, and
Mhm.
everybody's gonna say no, how about before someone can sell a house? That way, that house down there on Main Street.
Wait a minute, I
missed
your first sentence.
before you can sell a house.
Oh,
So if you build a house, telling everyone how much you can't wait to live here, then you turn around and sell it. All the things you never finished fall on the other owner, and we're now saying, oh, well,
they're
So-
not responsible.
if you build a house and sell it.
It's also their responsibility. It's also their responsibility when they buy the house to do a property check for that kind of
Yes,
stuff.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's maybe
That one falls with
I mean, the
the
problem,
but some of the rest of this doesn't, and that does make some sense to me. And you see, I'm not sure that would be that difficult, because something's gonna be really obvious.
well, I mean, I can look at the house behind me. That he added a fireplace, or somebody added a fireplace sometime after it was built and got inspected. And the big silver thing coming up to the roof is still silver. And there's another couple, I mean, that happens every single day.
Oh,
Did it get a permit? It probably should have been permitted if it were a gas fire. My guess is that no, it didn't get permitted either. But I mean, those are things, you know, where do you stop?
Yeah,
The one thing with short-term rentals is there are only 47 slots. Most of them are the same people year to year. So it'd kind of be a one-time audit situation, and then as people dropped off, we would just have individual houses.
Because I think there are certain special, and you're not talking about, you're talking about if you want a special permit.
Mhm.
You're not talking about if you want ordinary things, you're not gonna be doing this all the time.
Right,
But I think there is, but I think it's a procedure, I don't think it's an ordinance, I think it's a procedure, and I think we could define it down in a way that, you know, okay, what we're asking for is this procedure for special, uses.
okay, I have two more things. We have a new code enforcement person, and,
Who is it?
his name is Jake Cook. He works for Safe Built. He's a contractor. We have him coming up on Tuesdays to identify certain issues in town. Recently, he's flagged people for debris and junk in their yard, so we have quite a number of, are you one of them?
Give it up time then.
The urgency I found.
You did, but it's first notice, there's no way I could have cleared it.
Right. I have found that 1 week really lit the fire under a lot of people though, and they come and talk to us and we're like, of course, we'll give you a little bit more time, but they came and talked to us, so I actually really appreciated that, including
What does he think is enforced? Would everything comes by?
land use code. I told him not to do DRC stuff right now unless we identify something to him, because there's so much that is confusing. One thing though that we did have him go do is chain link fences. We had him cite people for that, so you might have noticed that certain chain link fences that were very prominent on certain streets have been taken down, so. Yeah, and part of that.
I just don't trust Safeco now.
Right.
So there was a little miscommunication with staff and him. Where we kind of sent him out without really knowing what he was looking at, and then now we're like, actually, we need to sign off on individual letters before you go out and send them to people, so that's now part of that, because people are coming in like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know, so.
Yeah, but there are certain things that he might think are appropriate to cite people on that we really want to have there.
Right, well, and so actually, one of the questions I have is, well, and to be clear, he has been vetting everything with me or Rick or John. There were just a couple things that fell through the cracks. So, but one of the things is we would like him to issue citations to people who have signage up for businesses that have not been in operation for 30 days. However, we obviously have some historic buildings with historic signs that we do not want to issue citations for. And so what I wanted to put in front of you, and maybe for next
We
meeting.
also did commission at one point along the line, and I don't even know where to dig to find it, did a list of historic signs for this town. And passed them as historic signs.
Oh, great.
But I would have a real game trying to find where that is.
Okay.
I mean, I can tell you what some of them were, some of them are really, really obvious.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So like, I don't know if you consider the Buckley Garage.
Yes. the
Okay.
Garage was on that, and you know, the signs that are on the back of top of 511, the nice little Anderson sign along.
The Snetzer building, yes.
Yeah, the Snetzer building, absolutely, because we, even forced the church to leave that time. Because Jacob Snetzer was truly a tailor in maybe 1870s, so.
Right.
Yeah, so.
There's a list
we-
somewhere.
There's a list somewhere. But, you know, it would have been 25 years ago.
Would Christine?
No, I ran across it,
Well-
something I was doing, and I thought, damn, he did do historic signs, didn't he?
It might be something we want to do again if we can't find
Yes, I
that.
think that is. Yeah, I don't think it is, unless it's in here, I mean, you know, unless it's in mine. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's.
That'd be exactly what I need basically to be like, hey, you can cite any sign with our news. Is that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
was put on that list, there were a couple that were unexpected that were put on that list.
Okay. Is Crazy Horse on it?
No,
Okay.
no, because you have to go back.
tower, remember?
Hey, I have one more thing, if we're done with that. The Quonset hut that was gonna be temporary for the garden center, which is no longer a garden center. Right. And it's starting to look a little ratty and just sits there. Yes, it was supposed to be taken down. I think it was supposed to be seasonal. Yep. And it's been there for many years.
Yeah, right.
I'd like
What
to-
is it?
It's
Across the street from the Georgetown Market, there's a little brick building that's got a realtor and some apartments over it. And at the end of the lot, there's a big wooden fence.
Mhm.
Basically a plastic tent.
Yeah,
All right.
A Kwanzaa hut?
that's the only thing I do.
That's a World War II term, that
It was
was.
a
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what that means.
Yes, sir, QUONSCT. So
It's pepper sauce, basically. It's plastic green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's like my dream house.
Yeah.
I think it still is.
Yeah.
That's weird. That hasn't been a business.
And yes, Susan can help you with that question.
Okay.
It's my building.
Oh.
Sorry.
The Quonset hut is yours?
Yeah.
Building.
Oh, well,
Sharon and I.
okay, well, I don't have no problem with the building.
So discuss it with Sharon, see what happens.
I would do that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd like to add something for the demolition record line.
Yes.
For next meeting. I forget if it's 704 or 710 4th Street.
The barn.
The barn,
You mentioned the barn before.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to put any note into it. I guess older or. Yeah, but it's already there, oh, yeah, you can see it from the house lawn, it becomes part of this. Big, on the back. part.
That was 2019.
I approached her to clear out the debris behind it, straighten it up. Stabilize it, put a new roof for that, and she's got one pretty. But. so.
Cool. Okay.
And it is cool.
Yeah.
We don't have that many hard stuff.
No.
You know what I-
That's bad, but yeah, I don't deal with that.
That's what I can see.
But we might want,
Yeah.
we probably want to address that.
Or-
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. What's the address, Brent?
It's either 710 or 706.
Some of those.
How about 704?
Oh, okay.
I
704.
don't remember the 704, 710.
74. 7.
Yeah, because she would be willing to take it down. Oh, we don't want to let her. Yeah, we don't want.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Got
Got it.
So that's what I want.
There's a lot
I don't believe so, if the one ever understand. I mean, it's like all the coming along signs that we have to these all the street signs, integrated signs and all that.
Right.
And all of that, because we have to follow the traffic code. No, we don't.
Yeah, no, he's only enforcing stuff we're asking him to enforce.
That's because, you know, we've been round and round with bunches of things that.
Yeah.
We had said, you know, you gotta do this. Actually,
Yeah.
municipalities have more independence than it seems.
Yeah, he's doing a Crazy Horse, and so we had him do the same, anyone has that same citation, we had him cite, so for junk that's, you know.
Crazy Horse started out as the Holy Cat, and so maybe we'd like to have a Holy Cat.
Is that what it was called?
Yes.
That's a fun name.
Cats.
The Holy Cat?
It was the Crazy Horse building. Yeah, it was put together as the Holy Cat. It was put together as a house. Yeah,
Okay, no, not a cat house.
not a cat house.
Is that?
That's
certainly not holy.
Is it?
Well, that was easy. It was not, that was in, so we built up, we had to have holes at the time, but it's on. Okay, are we?
We have minutes and I looked through them and I don't know if anybody else had a chance.
And Joan, I did print a copy for you because it's on the back of everyone else's, but you have a separate copy to sign, so.
Oh, okay, well, I saw two things. It's nothing big except under approval of agenda, I'll just give you this. It said amended COA, members added amended COA. But I think it should just be amend COA. And then, wait, what? Amend, all right, COA. And then on, Creighton Suka. Suka.
You got it.
Okay, second line down, it says wood paneling facing Argentine Street. Did we only specify paneling on the west side
We said all.
of those?
They planned for 3 sides,
Yeah.
but I think you only asked for 1. I wasn't here.
I don't know what we talked about on all 3 sides.
Well, just keep it.
I thought we said all.
Wood paneling face,
Yeah,
on the
just the doors.
yeah, except, I'll accept the doors, yeah.
Because we would not have asked for 1 sign.
And the doors face east, and we didn't require doors. Okay. All right. Well, can I hear a motion? Before city go back.
No, I can't, I don't either.
Oh, okay.
I'm not.
I move to accept the minutes as corrected.
Second. All in favor? Aye, okay, it's adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
My pants are sticking to my legs.
Sean, you're an iron.
Yeah, I got the letter Friday night, and I had to have it done by Tuesday.
Oh, wow. So you're away. You're up all night with
It's just like some old siding. But it's scrap from jobs. Like
It's a lot. I should go into this room. That's, I mean, I think it was but I tried it for.
I guess somebody here.
I've been in there.